Hey everyone, it's Jason. In this video, we're going to go over the current Dice Throw promo sets. We have promo set for Season 1 Rerolled, promo set for Season 2. These are cards if you buy the full boxes, or if you buy individual characters, you can pick them up to get some extra promos. But we're going to go over them so you know if they're worth it or not. Then we have one for Dice Thrown Adventures. So if you bought that, there's going to be additional stuff to add to that overall game. And then the top one up here was the promo, possibly slash Kickstarter. I know it's available in the Kickstarter exclusives, but they might release it as a promo pack in the future. I'm not sure. But this is for the Santa versus Krampus set. So we'll go over that one as well because it's all kind of promo material in and of itself. Alright, so let's hop in and see what we have in these sets. So the original promos just come in this little tiny package. It's why it's not like really resealable, but that's fine because once you get them, you can just mix them in. So each set is going to include 8 main face cards and 8 randomizer cards. So the randomizer cards are just going to be pictures of your characters. And this is for the first set. The backs will have a hand with some dice, just to show that they're a little bit different from the regular card backs. But what the point of the randomizer is, hey, I can't decide what character I want to play. You can shuffle all of these together, and then just draw a character and be like, that's who I'm playing as. And that's the whole point of the randomizers. So they have these for each different character that's out. So Promo Pack 2 will have some of them. I believe, if I'm correct, the Marvel set came with all their promo cards. Either came or they were a separate pack as well, so you can get the randomizers for that. But yeah, so you can mix and match. If you have Season 1, Season 2, Marvel, Santa Krampus set, you can mix them all together. And instead of having to decide out of the almost 30 characters who to play as, you can just say, I draw this, that's who I'm playing. So that's definitely a fun thing there. Alright, then we'll set those aside. Then the other cards are main face cards for every character. They'll be listed as set number, the same as the set for the character, as the last card in the set. Typically 33. Occasionally on some characters it might be 34 if they had an extra card. Or like, yes, I know a few characters had 33 cards to begin with, so this would be the 34th card. But it's always the last set. It'll say promo on the bottom, so you know to take it out. They're all going to have very similar effects to each other. So there's not one that's going to be overall more game-breaking than the other. It's just an extra additional card to add in there. Now, you could add these in as like rewards if you're playing adventure. Hey, we won the adventure match. Now you can add this promo to your deck to make it a little bit better if you would choose to. So we have Mother Tree for the Treant. So they're all going to be main phase, 0 CP. So they're free to play. Definitely nice as well. But if you're only allowed to have X number of cards in your deck, then that means you'd have to take one card out for this. And that's where the game could change the dynamic. I would say if you're just adding one card, I'd probably just throw this in. If you're starting to play the adventure mode, where you will purchase upgrades and have extra cards later, then you're going to have to start dismantling your deck anyhow, so then it's fine to switch these around. Alright, so what they're all going to do is they're all going to have roll one die and do something. So, roll one die on I forgot what all these are called. A brown, you grow 4 spirits. On any other outcome, draw 1 card. So that's kind of how these all work. So then we have the Shadow Thief, Shadow Meld. Roll 1 purple die, gain sneak and 2 CP, or draw a card. So at bare minimum, all these at least get you a free card draw. On one of their die, they're going to gain you something really good. For the Pyromancer, Infernal Fusion, on an orange dice, gain max fire mastery. Or draw a card. For our Paladin, we have Divine Favor. On a black dice, gain 4 CP, or draw a card. Dojo for the ninja. On the black-green dice. Again, I don't remember what all these are called. Dana Smoke Bomb and Kunin Jitsu. So you see some of them are gaining you a bunch of tokens, some are gaining you benefits of other things. So they're not like all direct equal, like each one's not saying, oh, it does 2 damage or does this. So some might seem better than the other, but that all depends on how you're playing your character. For the Moon Elf, we have Lunar Umbra. Inflict, with a Crescent Moon, inflict blind, entangle, and targeted on a chosen opponent. For our Monk, we have Enlightenment. On the Lotus Blossom, it looks like, gain 2 Chi, Evasive, and Cleanse. And then finally, for our Barbarian, we have Adrenaline Surge on a red-yellow. Says heal 2, inflict concussion on a chosen opponent. So definitely fun there. So some extra bonuses for your characters. Alright. Then we have promo set for season number 2. So it'll be the same idea. We will have our season 2 characters and their randomizers. Just a neat way also to put some extra artwork out for the characters. And then we will have their cards. We have, for the Artificer, we have Synthesize. Roll a dice on a Lightning Bolt, gain 5 synth, and otherwise draw a card. So it's going to be the exact same ideas. Run and Gun for our Gunslinger. On a target, inflict bounty, knockdown on a chosen opponent. So that kind of really hinders them. For our Hunter, or Huntress, Primal Roar. On a Sabertooth, heal Nara 4. So this could be like a weird one, because again, with any of the ones where you're applying tokens, if they already have stack limit, then playing this card again, it wouldn't make sense, and this would be kind of the same idea. But if Nara's already at, like, has a lot of health, then this card's kind of sitting around doing nothing. But again, it's always a 50-50 roll. We have for our Cursed Pirate, we have Heave Ho. On a Skull, inflict parlay on chosen opponent. Which stops him from attacking, so it's not bad. For our Samurai, we have Kensei. On the Rising Sun, gain Backstrike and 2 Honor. For our Seraph, we have, with the Amulet, or the black-white dice, gain Flight 2 and Cleanse 2. For the Tactician, we have Upper Hand. On a Metal, gain 4 tactical advantage. I only remember these because I just did the video for these. And for our Vampire Lord, we have Blood Tide. Roll 1 die. On a 3, gain 3 blood power. Or any other outcome, draw 1 card. So cool. So these are definitely fun if you want some extra bonus cards for your characters. Are they make or break your characters? Nope, but they can definitely make them a little bit more interesting. Alright. So then we are going to look at the Dice Throwing Adventures promo cards. This is going to be 5 minions and 15 loot cards. So if you want to know how the loot cards and the minion cards work, you'll have to check out the Dice Throwing Adventure unboxing to see how all these work. But more or less, the minions are cards that are going to fight throughout the game. So instead of, because Dice Throwing Adventures is a co-op game where you move along a little map, and you occasionally have to fight enemies. So there's some different ranks. There's some 3s, a 1, a 2, and a 4. It's basically just more or less difficulty. They're going to have how much health they have. They're going to have what they're trying to roll for. Their ability, so if they roll that, this is what they're going to do on their turn, because they're all kind of automated, as well as they're going to have some sort of defense ability. And now the villain characters have their own set of dice, so they're all going to have the same set of 5 dice pool. And then the top corners can actually show, just like the other cards, you're going to add on through the set. So this would be mini number 65, and so on and so forth. I took them probably out of order. I'll look at those in just a sec. But let's look at the loot cards, which are also just going to add to the loot number. Loot cards, more or less, work exactly like your regular cards you play. If you have them in your hand, then they function the exact same way. You play them on main phase, their cost. Equipment cards are a brand new card type. So when you have them, they sit in play and they kind of work as a like a constant effect. So sort of like a token might do something. If it's triggered, these would be the same way, but they can't just be generally removed. Then the crystalline on the bottom, along with the letter, shows its rarities. This is what where it goes in the rarity for your loot deck. So if you're adding it in, if you draw a rare loot card, you could get this one. Otherwise, the back of the cards look exactly the same as the rest. You can shuffle them into your deck. I did say earlier about having to change your deck size because you're only supposed to have, I think you can have up to, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think you can have 40 cards in your deck, and your characters start with 32 normally. So you can gain a few cards. You might only have 32. Maybe I'm thinking 40 is like a max deck size. But at some point playing adventures, you might get more cards than what you're allowed to have. So you have to start swapping cards in and out. So that can actually change up your decks. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at these. So we have Black Belt. Says when incoming attack is undefendable, you may spend 2 CP to roll your defense. So that's kind of cool. So you defend against an undefendable attack. We can upgrade it to Black Belt 2. All the upgraded cards are, at least the legendary cards, are all foil. There's common, uncommon, rare, and legendary. Sorry, common, rare, epic, and legendary. There's no uncommon. So it says when incoming attack is undefendable, you may spend 1 CP to roll your defenses. And now, if you had Black Belt 1 and you purchased Black Belt 2 or looted it, you just swap it out. You have to upgrade to the better one. So you can't have both of them in your deck. We have Holy Relic, which is another equipment. You may spend 1 CP at any time to reroll any one of your dice. So that's not bad. And then Holy Relic 2, you may spend 1 CP at any time to allow a chosen hero to reroll any one of their dice. So same cost, but now you can let anybody else do it as well. Utility Belt, gain a positive stat effect directly from a chosen hero's leaflet. This token may not be a unique status effect. Yeah, so that's not bad either. So that's cost 2 CP. Then we get Utility Belt 1, which only costs 1, but has the exact same effect. So it's just cheaper to play. We have Blood Amulet, costs 3 CP. Whenever your defensive ability is activated, steal 1 health. So that's pretty powerful. Then we have some non-equipment ones. We have an Instant, the Bolus. Inflict knockdown on a chosen opponent. We have Bolus 2, which lets us draw 1 and then inflict knockdown on chosen opponent. So this is kind of cool because some of these cards will let you inflict status effects that your character couldn't normally do. Or even with that last equipment, lets you gain a status effect your character normally couldn't have. It can make your characters a lot more powerful or interesting because you're doing things they wouldn't normally be able to do. We have First Gist Strike. Choose a minion to lose the first strike ability. If played during a boss battle, your attack becomes undefendable. And First Gist Strike 2. Choose a minion to lose the first strike ability. The attack becomes undefendable. So it just goes from costing 2 to costing 0. We have a Trench Coat equipment. When selling a card, gain 2 CP instead of 1. This is helpful. You want to eliminate cards out of your hand. We have a Cat Burglar. This is a main phase. Take a loot chest token from an unexplored tile adjacent to explored tile, or steal 3 CP from chosen opponent. So that could be kind of fun. What's also kind of neat with this is if you some reason decide to add some of these cards into your regular game, not adventures, yeah, the top one wouldn't really do anything, but the bottom one wouldn't actually be too bad. Then we have Guard Dog. Equipment. Next time you attack, discard this card and ignore all incoming damage. You cannot activate your defensive ability. So basically a free dodge for that. Then we have Guard Dog 2, which drops it from 4 CP down to 3. Otherwise, it does the same thing, except it also adds ignore all incoming damage and incoming status effects. It's cheaper, and it gets rid of those status effects as well. Yeah, so those are all fun extra bonus loot cards we can get. Then let's take a look at our minion cards. We'll zoom out a little bit here. These are all foil. I don't mind foil cards. They're neat. I'd rather almost not have foil cards, though, for my game. I kind of feel like foil should be bonus or alt cards versus main cards, because you see sometimes foil cards start to warp a little bit. So once I get these sleeved up, that should hopefully help a little bit. But also sometimes that reflective text makes it hard. They did do a good job of making sure the text wasn't really foiled. I mean, it still has like a sheen over it if you look at it wrong. But it's still all readable. It's just more or less the pictures that got covered up. Alright, so you have a level 1 Melodic Maiden who has 12 health, 2 CP. And when the bad guys have CP on this, the minions, it's just because sometimes there might be an effect, like if you have to steal, or some effect measures how much an opponent has CP, that's its for. They don't actually generally spend CP to do attacks. So this person's trying to roll 2 flaming dice for trance. Deal 4 undefendable damage. Additionally, the active player must choose a teammate to receive 2 collateral damage. If they have no teammate, they must discard 1 card randomly. And then a defense roll for 2 on flaming dice, they prevent 3 damage. And they'll reward you with 2 blue level chests, which then if we went back to our cards, the blue level are rare. So if you beat them, you get 2 rare level cards. We have a level 2 Lith Elf with 13 health. Spry Magic. Some slashes and some swirls. Inflict blind and deal 6 damage. A passive. At the start of your turn, move all positive status effects from active player. And a defense roll. If another minion is in play, all minions heal half their roll value. Otherwise, heal the full roll value. Oh crap, so this could be a hard one to beat. That's a fun thing with promos, though. You can always make promos a little bit more powerful than in-game stuff, because you can choose to buy them. And then she has epic loot, 3 epics. We have the Loot Goblin, who's level 3. He has 25 health. Fight or Flight, with a bunch of spinnies. Roll 1 on 1 to 3, deal 4 undefendable damage. On 4 to 6, Loot Goblin flees. Shuffle the card back into the main deck. That's crazy, because he just needs to get that once, and then all your damage is done. So if you're going to take him out, you need to take him out. Passive, on a failed offensive roll, heroes lose 1 gold. And, oh, so geez, even if you don't hurt him, or he doesn't hurt you, you still lose gold. So it's kind of stealing from you. And then defensive roll, on 1 to 5, steal 1 CP and deal 1 damage. On a red guy, he flees. So this guy's kind of a pain. So if you're going to try and take him out, you better make sure that you're working as a team to take him out as quickly as possible. His reward, though, is 1 green, which is a common, 2 blue, and 3 epic. So you get a lot of treasure from him, though. Our other level 3 is the Chimera, or Chimera, who has 20 health. Less than the Loot Goblin. Triple threat, 3 fire dice. Deal 3 undefendable damage and roll 1 die. On 1 to 2, inflict burn. 3 to 4, inflict knockdown. 5 to 6, inflict 2 bleed. Passive, on a failed offensive roll, 1 die. If you roll the white slashes, begin a new offensive roll. crazy. So even if he misses it, he gets a second chance. And defensive roll, either do 1 damage, 3 damage, or inflict poison. But he does get you 4 legendary treasures, so that's not bad. And our level 4 is Umbra. So he also has this extra symbol here, which is the king. Oh crap! What's it called? The King's Hand, I believe. I might be wrong on that. I haven't looked over the rules for a bit. But he gains an extra bonus for having that symbol. He's 25 health and he has Silhouette. So he deals 3 spinnies. So this is kind of neat because he's trying to roll for 4, but if he only gets 3, he still does 3 undefendable damage. He gets all 4 of them. He gets 5 undefendable damage. If in shadows, all attacks deal 4 damage. On a failed roll, he gains shadows. And his defense roll, if he gains a flaming dice, he gains shadows. So that's kind of cool. That he can actually be pretty powerful, and he has different levels of attack. Alright, now we're going to look at the promo cards for the Santa versus Krampus set. Let me scooch these off to the side. So there was a Christmas bonus pack that was Santa versus Krampus. These were the promo cards that were added in. So these might be Kickstarter exclusive. They might add them to the game at some point. So I'm not 100% sure, which is why I'm putting them last. They'll also be included in the video for Santa vs. Krampus in case they're listed as Kickstarter exclusive. So if you don't care about these specific cards, you can go ahead and turn the video off. And thank you for joining me. If not, let's jump through these. Alright, our first one up is going to be another equipment card. Now you can see this one doesn't just say Luke on the side. It has LSWP. I'm not even sure what that all stands for, to be honest. Loot swap, maybe? I'm not for sure what the different ones are, because then the monsters also have, yeah, so the minions have MSWP, so I wonder if it's monster swap. So maybe that's what they just mentioned. So this does also have a different thing on the bottom. It has a cross there, so you can't use this if you're doing solo play. Alright, so bonus blow says, these are all going to be somewhat Christmas themed, because that's the theme of the set. You may spend attack modifier status effects tokens on a teammate's attack. So that's kind of cool. So if you have something that gives a bonus extra damage, you can go ahead and use it on your teammates to help them out. And then if we jump up to rare, it goes from 1 CP down to 0. Otherwise, it does the same thing. We have X-ray specs. Look at the top 2 cards of any deck, including minion, boss, and loot decks. Each of these cards may be put on the top or the bottom of the deck in any order. Definitely a nice thing to do to be able to, see what you're doing. I'm going to put these out of numerical order just so that they're in the same order of cards that go together. We have X-ray specs 2. Look at the top 3 cards of any deck. Put each of these cards may be put on the top or the bottom of the deck in any order. I like that you can rearrange them completely as opposed to look at them and then put them all on the top or all on the bottom. Because they could have just as easily done that. Next up we have Throwing Canes. Deal 2 damage to a chosen opponent. Just a straight up damage card. You don't see that too terribly often, so that's always a fun one. This is where I also like what they did, is this went from rare straight up to a legendary for Throwing Canes 2. Deal 2 damage to 2 chosen opponents. So not only does it now hit 2 opponents, it's also instant, where the previous one was a main phase. So now you can definitely make that upgrading really cool. We have Scrooged. He's jumping in the money bin. If you choose You and a chosen opponent each roll 1 die. If your roll is equal or greater, steal up to 4 CP. So kind of a gimmick. Not a gimmick, risk, I guess, but, it could definitely be worth it. What hands? That's the King's Hand token. Remove up to 2 King's Hand tokens from a chosen opponent. This should definitely hinder some of the villains. Like that Umber guy we just saw, you can get rid of that bonus from him. We have Cookie Exchange. Reduce a chosen opponent's health by 4. Distribute 4 health tokens amongst all heroes in any way desired. Nice. A steal heal ability. Then we have Electro Gauntlets. Whenever you attack an opponent, roll 1 die. Deal half the value rounded up as an isolated source of undefendable damage to chosen opponent. Definitely cool. Then we have some interesting attack modifier cards. We have Gingerbread Man, who costs 4 CP, so he's kind of powerful. The CP cost of this card may be paid by multiple heroes, so add 4 damage to the chosen hero's attack. So that's definitely a neat idea. So everyone can kind of pitch in whenever you need to do that extra 4 damage. Then we have a level 2 version, which adds 5 to the chosen attack. Now, very rarely, I don't think we've seen too many cards outside of the adventure mode, which is what this is for. I don't think anything in the regular game has a level 3, but now in here we have a Gingerbread Man level 3, which lets you add 5 damage to a chosen attack, but it reduced the cost to 3. And then finally we have Gingerbread Man 4, which I definitely don't think, I definitely know outside of the adventures game there's nothing that jumps up to level 4. As we have CP cost may be paid by multiple, add 5 damage to attack, but now it costs 2. So definitely cool. Then the last interesting card we got out of there is a difficulty card. So this is if you are playing the adventure mode and you want to change your difficulty. So like in the game there's normal, I think hard difficulty, and then you can unlock other difficulties throughout the campaign. This gives you a different one called Nice Throne. Scenario score 10. Anytime you lose a scenario, you may choose to retry the same scenario or mark a -10 score and proceed to the next one. When a first strike minion is spawned, all players may contribute, paying 2 to remove the first strike, and when a salve is used to revive a hero, all negative status effects are also removed when their health is reset to 1. Bosses and minions do not gain or use King's Hand token. So essentially this is the idea is you're playing regular difficulty, you can do this to make the game a little bit easier. So maybe if you're struggling, here's a way to play that. So that's kind of fun. Alright, then we are going to look at our Christmas-themed minions. Now, we only have level 3s and 4s. We don't get any level 1s or 2s in here. But we have Slay Team. 20 health. Oh dear, so this is cool. They need to roll a straight. So if they have a micro straight, which is 3 cards, I've never seen that before. Deal 7 damage and receive 1 damage in return. Small straight, deal 9 damage, receive 2 damage in return, or a large straight, deal 11 and receive 3 damage in return. And a defensive roll, they roll 4 dice and they can inflict Wither. So that's definitely a cool, different effect. Here we have Winter Soldiers, who have that first strike on there. This is so hilarious because there's Snowman, who are an army, which are Winter Soldiers, but he also has a big giant wooden arm with a star on it, which is a reference to the Marvel Comics Winter Soldier character. So I find that hilarious. So he has a wild roll objective. 2 white slashes, 2 yellow spinnies, and a flaming die. He has Chill Out, but he can do 1 damage, 3 damage, or 5 damage, depending on what he rolls. Add 2 damage for each chaos you have. Passive at the start of your turn, gain a chaos, and a defensive roll on 2 spinnies. Deal prevent 2 damage for each chaos. So you can keep gaining his chaos to make his damage and defense better. He only has 15 health, so it's not too bad. We have Ice Cold Sprite. Of course, sprites being little fairies, and Sprite being a drink, who's also doing the straights. Cascade, Micro Straight, deal 1 collateral damage to all opponents. Small Straight, deal 2 collateral damage to all opponents. And Large Straight, deal 3 collateral damage to all opponents. On 2 spinnies, prevent 3 damage. So also there you have no solo for this one as well, because everything's dealing damage to multiple people. Our last level 3 minion is the Winter Clown, who needs only 2 different dice. So he has 15 health, and Surely You Jest, a white slashy and a fire die. Each opponent you're engaged with rolls 1 dice. On 1, they receive 3 collateral damage and gain silence. On a 2, they receive 3 collateral damage. On 3, they gain dominance. On 4, they gain concussion. On 5, Winter Clown heals 2. On 6, they heal 2. Interesting. So it has a unique defense. Activate your offensive ability. So that's kind of cool. So he has a special defense. So if he uses it, he just re-rolls his dice and can potentially either do damage or inflict a bunch of status tokens. Crazy. Alright, then we have some level 4 rares. We have Elphys, which is of course Elvis. He has the King's Hand up there. Reward, get some gold. He has All Shook Up. He's 25 health. 3 slashies and 2 dice. So I don't know if this is a mistake. He has 2 and 2, and up there he has 3 and 1, or if that was just like maybe that's what he's trying to roll. He has All Shook Up. Roll 1 die. On 1 to 3, deal 3 collateral damage to all engaged opponents, and on 4 to 6, deal 9 damage. So you can hit randomly everybody kind of thing, or you can do direct damage to 1. Passive. At the start of your turn, roll 1 die. On 1 to 2, gain King's Hand. So of course, Elvis is the king, so you're going to gain King's Hand a lot. Defense, roll a 4. On a spinny, prevent 1 damage, and for 1 King's Hand, for 1 damage, time King's Hand damage. On a fire dice, prevent 2. If no damage prevented, gain King's Hand. I believe it's supposed to be you prevent 1 or 2 for every King's Hand you have. Interesting. Then we have the Yeti. Who has 25 health, Blizzard. He wants to roll a bunch of spirals and a fire die. So on 3 spirals, he does inflicts blind and deals 8 damage. On 4, inflicts blind, deals 5 collateral damage to all engaged opponents. And if he gets all 4 and a fire dice, inflicts blind and deals 5 damage to all opponents. So he does more damage to one person on the cheaper one, but he does that unpreventable collateral damage, or he can just do unpreventable to everybody, regardless if they're engaged. His unique defense prevent half damage rounded up, so he's automatically going to prevent half damage no matter what, which is pretty powerful. Then our final one is the Fates. Clotho, Glenda, Loxness, and Hepstros. So 4 loot treasures, that's not bad either. Alright, so we're going to gain Life Strand with 40 health. That's quite a bit of health. Just has a special thing that says, if Kolthos activate, gain Backstraight. If Lachi's is active, heal 2. If Glenda is active, inflict silence. If Hespros is active, inflict parasite. Deal 4 unpreventable damage. Passive. This is the first time the minion's health is reduced below 20, 30, or 10. Make one of the fates inactive by covering it with their chaos. So they have 40 health, but it's essentially 10 health per each of the different identities. So you gotta decide which one to cover up every time you drop them 10 health down. Just kind of a neat mechanic. Again, these are things I like. I like different mechanics like this, but I also like when they're not used too heavily, because that makes this character feel a little bit special. But I wouldn't mind seeing it like 1 or 2 other times. It'd be cool. Defensive roll 1 to 4. Roll 1 die for each act of fate. Deal 1 damage per white slashy, and prevent 2 for each spiral. So definitely cool. So that was all of our promo cards for Dice Throne. For Season 1, Season 2, Adventures, and the Santa Krampus, which might be promo. Might be released later as a separate date. Might be Kickstarter exclusive. But if it is Kickstarter exclusive, hey, at least now you've seen it, and you know whether or not it's worth going to pick up if you want to play adventure cards. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye.